Today's dedication is for Zahn, who gave me a very generous 1 year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon. Dawnsire, Sunstar Dreadnought versus Marina Vendrell, Kresh the Bloodbraided, and Lurrus of the Dream Den. Pretty slow one for us. We've got a couple of our Urza lands though, which is good. Yeah, we're pretty much in top deck mode there, but doesn't necessarily hurt us to go slow in the early game. Let's just try and keep this. Oftentimes going quickly just gets all the removal pointed at your stuff. And we are last in the turn order, so we're effectively going even slower. The Orzhov player throws out Loose Seal, +2 to power and menace when the equipped creature attacks. Defending player Edict. Noteworthy there's an Emeria here as well to keep track of the planes count with. Royal Cartographer is landfall for an energy. Slowly getting into bits that we can cast. A Jorah's Familiar will discount our artifacts. Nothing to do on turn 2. Should point out, for anyone who doesn't know, that since the Edge of Eternity's set released, any legendary spacecraft or vehicles with power and toughness, that's a noteworthy inclusion, with power and toughness can now be your commander, hence the reason that Dawnsire, a legendary spacecraft with power and toughness, can be in the command zone here. This other guy here just decided to quit for whatever reason, so it's a Fertile Footsteps for the Kresh player. Fixing his colours, grabs himself a swamp, and Machias the Lunarch comes down where X is 2, so 2+ counters for that. We'll get started with the Palladium Mere. Myriad Landscape cracked for the Jund player, so he's getting ahead on mana nicely. 2 energy for the Royal Cartographer so far. It's going to need 6 and a tap to draw those 3. And down comes Bob. Don't often see that one in a game of multiplayer Commander. 1/3 swings in at us, along with the 2/2. I don't necessarily trust this one damage, so while we could block it, I'm not going to. Maybe they've got a Ganjo or something like that. They can deal damage to a blocking creature. Thran Dynamo is a nice draw. I suppose we have to accelerate with lands if we have the option to. So get down the Mana Rock, and then maybe just Dawnsire. Yeah, because next turn we'll be able to drop the Jorah's Familiar, a land, and the Meteor Golem if we want to. And then we'll be empty-handed pretty much. And unfortunately Jund is going to be very good at getting rid of artifacts. A Dousing Dagger hands plant tokens over to someone, and that is over to us. Doesn't have any haste creatures to equip that to at the moment. Revealed with Bob this time, that is probably the best thing you could hope to reveal is a land, because it doesn't deal any damage to you. A Pestilent Siphoner is just a 1/1 toxic, so yeah, he's after counters of all different kinds and proliferating them seemingly. A Lingering Death is effectively destruction on a permanent, plus counters on everything with the Machias. And we get the Dark Confident. The Merfolk goes into the left. I think we'll be blowing up the Bob next turn. Take the damage and leave the plant tokens back for something more scary. Now this triggers at the end step of our turn, so we can still make use of this, either to station or tap for mana. In fact, what we could do is knock off the aura with the Commander's Plate that we just drew into, although it will be 5 to equip to this. Is it worth it to keep hold of the 2 mana? I suppose 2 of the 5 mana could be equipped with this. Yeah, so let's go for the Jorah's Familiar. Makes the Commander's Plate free, and then we can tap the Palladium Mere in order to have it protect itself. And that makes the aura drop off. If anyone doesn't know, protection from colours means that they can't be equipped or enchanted by permanents of that colour, and we've got protection from all colours with this equipment in a colourless deck, so that makes things like this drop off. Let's do a little bit of stationing with the Jorah's Familiar. Puts us in a bit of a weird spot, because if we want to crew with this next turn, then we're losing out on a couple of mana, but we have next to nothing in hand anyway. The client's being a bit buggy, but we've got a Thieving Amalgam into play, or the Jund player has got it into play I should say, so he gets to manifest the top card of the library before Dark Confidence sees something. So we see the manifested creature there once the client catches up. Plus counters on the Toxic doesn't really matter. It'll deal more damage, but only ever 1 Toxic poison counter with that. Dark Confident again at us, the Merfolk at us. Revealed with the Dark Confident this time. I think we took some damage there. I had to restart the client for a second time. It's going really buggy. He's got his commander into play. We're not seeing any of the revealed or exiled zone for the Dark Confident. unfortunately. Anyway, get down Inventor's Fair. That can hopefully tutor us into something half decent. And let's go for a 6-mana Meteor Golem, I think. Obviously didn't get to see which cards were revealed with this either. Let's blow up the Bob and hope that they can't flicker their commander for lots of card advantage. And then let's continue to station this. I think I'm just going to have to tap this down for mana into the Inventor's Fair. Meteor Golem can station as well. So we're up to 7. A fair old ways away from this being a creature. And unfortunately, if we were to crew with this now, we couldn't attack with the plant tokens because they have Defender, so we'll leave it at that. Obviously, the Thieving Amalgam has continued to steal stuff away from us as well. I suppose there's not anything to stop us just tutoring out the Stuffy Doll with this. And then crewing this up next turn, swinging in and dealing 100 damage to someone. But it might be a better idea to go for some means of card draw. Kresh the Blood-Braided is into play for the first time. And then equipping the Dowsing Dagger to one of the manifested creatures. And it has to deal combat damage to a player, so the 4-3 goes in against a 1-1 and a 3-5. The 6-7 and the other manifest creature go to the right as well. Blocks the Dowsing Dagger creature with his Marina, so the manifest creature will die. And then throws away Machias under the 6-7 as well. Maybe we could go for the One Ring if we want to make more of a game out of it and not just combo off straight away. We'd only take one player out with the Stuffy Doll thing anyway. Just trying to have a think of what to do with the Inventor's Fair during all this. Machias dies to put in a plus counter after the blocks on everything. And that means the manifest creature died, so Kresh gets a plus counter. And the Thieving Amalgam will drain 2. The manifested card was a command tower, by the way. Then Dowsing Dagger onto the commander, now a 7-7 with its 4 plus counters. Turns it into a 9-8 with the equipment. So I think dealing the 100 damage to this guy would make sense, and then holding back Stuffy Doll as an indestructible against the 9-8. You can still swing into it easily enough, but obviously with indestructible we can block it easily until this gets trampled, that is. That is Vault 87. Gain control of a non-mutant creature, and decides to gain control of the Kresh. So he could flip the Dowsing Dagger round for the Kresh player, because he still controls the equipment here. A land into the Cartographer. Again, he's one away from being able to draw cards with that. And a Predator's Hour. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain Menace. Whenever they deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card and you can cast it. It is noteworthy that Kresh can deal commander damage to his owner. Wisely decides to just hold it back, and again swings the 4-6 to the left, the 3-5 to the left, and we get some infect damage. So exiling some cards off us, but he doesn't have any mana available, thankfully. But we each have an infect counter now, so if he goes for some kind of proliferate combo, we'll have to be wary of that. Let's go for cracking the Inventor's Fair. And it is really between the One Ring and the Stuffy Doll, I think. Can't really see anything else that's all that amusing to us. Yeah, it's really between knocking someone out of the game and card draw, really. I think, seeing as how it's more unique, we'll go after Stuffy Doll. Thieving Amalgam grabs another manifest creature. Now the question is, if we knock this player out, does Kresh go into exile, or does it get handed back over to this guy? Let's go wastes. We've got... yeah, I doubt we're going to have enough loyalty on this to be able to swing in with it, but the Chief of the Foundry is going to be able to buff things up enough for multiple stations. So that's 4, 5 and 6 mana. And I'll choose this guy with the Stuffy Doll. Then we want to station. Just use the Meteor Golem. And now we can attack him with any creature. We don't have to attack him with this in order to deal the 100 damage. But can we do 9 with regards to the crew? That's 3, 6 and 9 exactly. So let's go for it. Yeah, the Chief of the Foundry has made the difference here, I think. So now we've got a 21/21 powered commander. Let's go for lifelink for good measure onto this thing. And then go through to combat. We can fly straight over everything, so go into the left, and that will trigger the attack. Like I said, it could have been with the Jorah's Familiar, but Dawnsire will trigger regardless of who attacks. That goes onto the Stuffy Doll, so deals 100 damage to the Stuffy Doll first, which will be lifelink damage, so we go up to 128. Stuffy Doll will trigger and deal 100 damage to the 5 colour player. And this guy decides to scoop, but that would have been 21 points of commander damage to him as well, gaining us further life. So yeah, that actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I didn't realise that we could win so convincingly there. Without any cards in hand, we kind of had to win there because otherwise we're just in top deck mode for the next, I don't know, maybe we could have got lucky, but probably would have been for multiple turns. So yeah, that's Dawnsire. That's pretty much the combo that you want to be going after with it. But obviously if you can get the commander damage going as well, you can get 2 players in one hit. Like we just saw here, you want to be getting a plus counter on Dawnsire or some kind of anthem effect, because it only has the 20 power. But yeah, pretty happy with that showing, even if it wasn't all that great of a commander game. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching it regardless. Massive thank you to the patrons for their continued support of the channel during this quiet period. Hopefully you all continue to enjoy the videos. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.